Hello and welcome back to Empanada Sessions. Today we're going to be going over another deck from the new Dragon Ball Super TCG. Today's deck is going to be Red God of Destruction Champa. This is our leader card. His normal ability, which you will be using for most of the game, relies on your attackers maintaining a 15,000 or higher attack. So, what he says is, when your battle card attacks a leader card, if the attacking card has 15,000 or more, 15,000 or more power, draw a card. So, if you've ever played any TCG, you know maintaining hand size is important. Keeping your resources. He lets you. Red is actually the most aggressive, I think, out of all the decks, and he allows you to maintain that aggression throughout the game. When he does awaken, he makes a standard 10,000 to 15,000 jump that leader cards tend to do. You have an automatic draw one card on the attack, and double strike as well. Oh no, sorry. And an ability that allows you to discard a card to choose one card on your side, either this card or one of your battle cards, and it gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So while the other one actually buffs your hand size, this one will decrease it. So you need to be careful using his ability until the late game when you're ready to take all the prize cards. So we'll put him over there. Oh wow, there's some glare. There we go. Alright. Moving on. We have 4 Manipulating God Champa. So, being an aggressive deck, you may not even see the need to go into the Champa engine. But the Champa engine is here so that we can be sure to get to our other attackers. What Champa does is when you play him, you look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 red Champa, and add him to your hand. So you're either searching for himself, or you're searching for Scheming Champa or Furthering Destruction Champa. So what Scheming Champa does, we run another 4 Scheming Champa. He's a 2-cost, 10,000, standard numbers. But when you play a red alien, it's an automatic ability that when you play a red alien, it gains 5,000 power for the rest of the turn. So even if you're playing down this guy, for 1 turn, he's going to be at 15,000. So you're meeting the condition for your leader card. And being able to keep drawing cards during a turn and just have all the options available to you makes the game a lot easier to play and makes it easy to stream attackers to keep damaging your opponent. I've played against this deck a lot, and it's hard. It gets you down to 2 or 3 prize cards within the first 4 or 5 turns easily. So unless you're running a deck that has a very strong late game, this deck can just hit you early and hit you fast and destroy you that way. Alright, so next up, to complete our Champa line, is Furthering Destruction Champa. So what he does is when you play or when you combo with him, you choose one of your attacking cards and it gains double strike. So you can search him off of this Champa, and for 1 energy, you turn one of your attackers into a plus 10,000 double striker. So you could even turn the guy that searched him into a 15,000 that has double strike. Plus for 3, he has 16,000, which means you're always that 1,000 higher than the 15,000 guys, the other 3 costs that tend to be 15,000. So this deck's really good at finding the right numbers to get over everything. Along with just standard attacks, you have destruction options available. The first of which is Fickle Destruction. Now, it's looks like a Champa card, but it's an extra card, as you can see by the white border. Um, what it does is, for 1 energy, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 12,000 or less power and just KO it. So 12,000 or less means you're hitting pretty much every blocker. You're hitting every low cost attacker. I think the only low cost attackers that have 15,000 are like Hit and Goku, and there's a 3 cost Vegeta with 20,000, but Hit and Goku are 2 for 15,000, and Apple in the Frieza deck has 2 costs for 15,000. So those guys you won't be able to hit with this, but pretty much everything else, anything that's just low attack but still giving you a problem, this guy will deal with. And he's so good. Like, just being able to 1 energy just destroy cards, very strong. Now, while the 1 energy is nice, for 4 energy we have Assassination Plot, and very cool artwork on this one. You see Hit flexing his neck over there, Champa scheming in the background. I guess that's why they call this guy Scheming Champa. No? Alright. This says, choose any number of opponent battle cards of which the total power adds up to 30,000 or less and KO them. So you could either be paying 4 to knock out maybe 1 Brawly with 30,000 that's causing a lot of problems, or that 30,000 could be 6 or 7 cards depending on their depending on their power. So this is a very versatile card, very, very powerful card, but it's not going to come up very often, so we're only running it at 1. In future builds, we might see this at 2, but I doubt it'll come up any further than that. Moving on to our attacking line. Actually, we'll go over one more card real quick before we get to our attackers. This is another card that has great synergy with our leader. This is Cabba's Awakening. And what this does, for no energy, free energy, that's right, choose up to 1 of your red cards and it gains 6,000 power for the duration of the battle. So it's only 1 battle. It's not even an entire turn, but it gives you an extra 6,000 for absolutely free. So very, very powerful. You tack that on top of a Scheming Champa, you're getting over 15,000 walls, no problem. So this, like I said, this has potential to do very, very big damage early game. Alright, moving on to our attackers. We're going to start with the heart and soul of this deck, Saiyan Cabba. For 1 energy, only 1 energy, you're looking at that 5,000, aren't you? Don't worry about that 5,000. I'll tell you what he does. His ability is that when he attacks, you take 1 of your own life cards. You're paying your own life cards. So it's a steep cost, but when he attacks, you take that 1 life card, he gains 10,000 power and double strike. 10,000 and double strike. So you're going up to 15,000 and you're hitting for 2 damage. So if you're attacking with him on your opponent's leader on the first turn of the game, you're, with this ability, you're getting 1 card from your prize cards, 1 card from the top of your deck from this ability, and you're doing 2 damage to them for 1 energy cost. So finding this Cabba early is pretty much crucial to this deck's success. Every time I've seen this deck do well, it's because this Cabba has been able to get out early and do his work. Now, 5,000 means he is probably going to be KO'd very early. Your opponent will try to target this. So having something like Cabba's Awakening or having Champa's to combo with him is very important so that you maintain your stream of Cabba attacks. Now, Cabba actually goes Super Saiyan. Raging Cabba is a 4-cost attacker. He evolves for 3 and has double strike without paying any cost like Cabba does. Now, his cool ability which can actually just win games on its own, says that when you attack with Kaba, and if you're familiar with the TCG, you know that when you attack, you go into rest mode. So he says that if you've already attacked and you evolve from rest mode, you can go back into active mode. So process that for a second. You're hitting 15,000 with this guy. Then you pay 3 energy, you're hitting another 20,000 without having to combo any cards. So you could even add to that. You get a Kaba's Awakening in there, you're doing some serious damage. And this is on, you could do that on turn 3 of the game. So think about it this way. If you're hitting 2 Saiyan Kaba attacks on your opponent's leader early game, if you're getting those 4 prize cards, actually, you could even just get 1 attack off. You could get it off on your second turn of the game, because then you're going in and hitting double strike. Double strike. That's 4 more prize cards. Champa comes in, double strike, clean it up. Insane how quickly this deck can hit those big numbers. Moving on to our next attack line. This one's a little tricky because it's all in and it's all or nothing. This is Evolution Premonition Frost. Now, Frost can be one of the strongest and most threatening cards in the game. He can also be one of the most useless and most frustrating. He's a 1 cost. It's 1 cost to play him, but he has a 2 cost ability, and that ability allows you to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and evolve straight from the top 7 cards. You don't need to pay any cost. You just slap that card down. So because of that, because of only needing the 3 energy total to get out some of these strong attackers, he can be very strong, but at the same time, he can be very inconsistent, because you can waste those 3 energy and not hit the ability, and suddenly you're without energy, and your big play for the turn just turned into nothing. So for his for his ability to be relevant, we need to run a full 4/4 line of Frost Evolution. We'll go over these one by one. They both have double strike. This first one is a 3 cost, 2 for the evolve, but ideally you're evolving off the ability. And what it does is, all it is a 15,000 double striker. So not the greatest, but we need to play 4 just so we have maximum potential of hitting it off of this. This one, on the other hand, is a real big guy, and the reason that we're playing this Frost line. 4 cost, 3 for the evolve, double strike, and an automatic ability that says when you attack a battle card, you automatically KO the battle card, and if the leader card has 10,000 or less power, you do 1 damage to your opponent. So if you're getting this out early game alongside a Kaba, you're getting them down to like 2 or 3 prize cards before one of the big guys even comes out. It's ridiculous how powerful this deck is. Moving on to our final attacking line, we have the man himself, the assassin from another dimension, Hit. Now, yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. Hit is a 2 cost 15,000 attacker. You're getting 15,000 attack off for 2 energy. You're not paying prize cards like Kaba. You're not worrying about anything. He's just a straight up get your value type of guy. So I said you really need to start Kaba, but starting Hit is just as nice. So that's how the deck remains consistent, is getting one of these 3 attackers out and getting because both of these are 15,000. Getting that 15,000 attack off as early and as often as possible on the leader, so Champa keeps drawing you cards. Hit actually has an evolution, lightning fast hit. He's a 6 cost, very expensive, 5 for the evolve. But he has double strike and says that when you evolve into him, your opponent just takes 2 damage. So you can already see how this deck is able to quickly, efficiently, ferociously just knock your opponent out of the game before they have a chance to set up. Turbo all the way. It's very quick, it just sets up attackers before anyone can do anything. And the Champa line is a little inconsistent, but of the options available, it seems like the best option. Also, it allows us to do this. We're playing one card. This is the final card of the deck, Destructive Terror Champa. Now this Champa evolves from these Champas for 5 energy. So you're not really gonna use it too often, but 25,000 without a combo, triple strike, so you're doing 3 damage. So if you're committing to these guys early, you want to be looking for him and have him in your hand, because once you get those 5 energy down, he's got to come out and do work, because triple strike is just way too powerful to pass up. When you play him, you actually get to choose all of your opponent's battle cards in the battle area with 15,000 or less power and just knock him out. You don't even, just as soon as he comes down, everything with 15,000 or less dies. Imagine if they did that to you, you'd lose your hits, your frosts, and your Saiyan combos. That's, and everything up here except this guy. It's insane. So there you have it. This is one of the strongest, quickest decks in the game. It's a young game. We'll probably see a lot of evolutions of these decks and blending the decks. These are just the most consistent builds available to us based on what we have so far. And I mean, the double strike, the aggression in this deck, this and the blue deck, I would say, are the 2 strongest contenders to be the top, or the BDIF best deck in format. If you can evolve into this 6 cost hit, like, you win the game. It's a 1-turn win there. You're doing 2 damage just by evolving. How are they going to survive that, plus attacks from him, plus attacks from Champa? Like, they're done. It's over. So I hope you enjoyed the profile. I hope you guys have a lot of fun beating people up with this deck, because yeah, it has the potential. Give us a like if you enjoyed. Give us a follow, subscribe. Find us on Facebook, Twitch, we're everywhere. empanadasessions.com. Thanks for stopping by.